Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Olaf Scholtz-Knobloch, and I welcome you to the fifth railway talk of UEEIV. And at the beginning, I ask you to unmute your microphone and to mute your microphone and switch off the screen so that we have available a little bit more line on the internet. So today we have an exciting topic. The topic is the railway station in an urbanized territory. Subtitle is not just a transportation center. We have today three speakers, and these are Ivana, Pavel, and Ivo. Oh, hello to the new coming people. Please turn off your screen and microphones during the presentation, and you can later switch it on when we come to the question time. So the three speakers will present different views on the integration to the urban landscape. The presentation should take about an hour or so, maybe a little bit more. And after that, we will have some time for discussions. So I think let's not waste any time and start. Ivana, please.
Thank you, Olaf. Hello, everyone. Today we are going to speak about the urban integration of railway stations in modern cities, about fostering connectivity and sustainability. Urbanization is a global phenomenon that has been reshaping cities at an unprecedented pace. As cities grow and evolve, their transportation infrastructure must adapt to accommodate increasing mobility demands, foster economic development, and promote sustainability. In this context, railway stations have emerged as critical elements of urban connectivity, serving as gateways, hubs, and catalysts for both division and integration within modern cities. Here, we delve into the complex relationship between railway stations and urban areas, examining how these transportation hubs simultaneously divide and connect different parts of a city. We also explore the growing trend of integrating green development and sustainable practices in and around railway stations. Through a combination of case studies, historical analysis, and future-oriented discussions, we aim to shed light on the multifaceted role of railway stations in shaping contemporary urban landscapes. Railway stations hold a unique position in modern cities, serving both as dividers and connectors of urban areas. Their impact on the urban landscape is multifaced, encompassing physical, economic, and social dimensions. Railway tracks and stations infrastructure often physically divide urban areas. These divisions can present both challenges and opportunities for cities. Railway tracks can act as formidable barriers, disrupting the flow of pedestrian and vehicle traffic within cities. Crossing railway tracks can be time-consuming and in some cases dangerous. Consequently, cities have had to invest in infrastructure such as bridges, tunnels, and underpasses to reconnect neighborhoods that were severed by rail lines. The presence of railway lines can significantly influence urban design and land use planning. In some cases, these areas have been designed for industrial or commercial purposes due to noise and pollution concerns, further segregating land use. Railway operations, especially in densely populated urban areas, can lead to noise pollution and air pollution. These environmental impacts can have far-reaching consequences. The constant rumble of trains, the scratching of brakes, and the blaring of horns can contribute to noise pollution, affecting the quality of life for residents living in proximity to railway tracks. Noise barriers, soundproofing, and noise-reducing technology have become essential in mitigating these effects. Diesel-powered locomotives can emit pollutants harmful to both the environment and public health. As cities strive to reduce their carbon footprint and improve air quality, addressing emissions from railway operations become crucial. The presence of major railway stations within a city can create economic disparities among neighborhoods. Areas in close proximity to major railway stations often experience higher property values and real estate development. This can lead to gentrification, pushing out lower-income residents and small businesses. The rising costs of living in these areas can contribute to social and economic imbalances within cities. Railway stations serve as vital transportation hubs that foster connectivity within cities and beyond. They provide several advantages for urban mobility. Railway stations often serve as intermodal transportation hubs, connecting different modes of transit, including trains, buses, trams, and subways. This integration streamlines commuting for residents and visitors, reducing the need of private vehicles and traffic. Railway stations have a significant impact on the economic development of the areas surrounding them. The presence of a major railway station can attract businesses, hotels, and commercial developments to its vicinity. This economic activity generates job opportunities and contributes to the local economy. Retail outlets, restaurants, and services often flourish in these areas. Many railway stations host cultural events, art exhibitions, and performances. These events enrich the cultural landscape of the city and engage both travelers and the local community. Railway stations are natural meeting points for friends, families, and colleagues. They serve as convenient rendezvous locations and play a role in enhancing local connections. In summary, railway stations are complex urban features that simultaneously divide and connect different parts of a city. While their physical division and environmental impact present challenges, their role as transportation hub, economic catalysts, and cultural centers enhance urban connectivity and fosters economic development. Balancing these aspects is essential for harnessing the full potential of railway stations in modern cities. Urban planning plays a pivotal role in the integration of railway stations within modern cities. Efficient and thoughtful planning can help transform railway stations from physical dividers into seamless connectors, fostering urban development and enhancing the quality of life for residents. Here's how urban planning influences this integration. Transit-oriented development is a key urban planning strategy that aims to create vibrant walkable communities around railway stations and other transit hubs. Thought principles include mixed land use. Urban planners encourage a mix of residential, commercial, and recreational spaces within walking distance of railway stations. This approach minimizes the need for long commutes and encourages residents to use public transportation. Higher population density around railway stations is permitted to support transit rideshare and reduce urban sprawl. High-density development often includes apartments, condominiums, and office buildings, creating a dynamic urban environment. Urban planners prioritize pedestrian-friendly infrastructure, including wide sidewalks, crosswalks, and public spaces. This encourages walking and cycling, reducing the reliance on private vehicles. Thought projects often incorporate green spaces and parks, enhancing the urban environment's livability and providing residents with recreational areas. Many railway stations are located in areas with underutilized or outdated infrastructure. Urban planning can facilitate their redevelopment and revitalization. Historic railway stations are often preserved and adaptively reused for modern purposes. They may become cultural centers, museums, hotels, or commercial spaces while retaining their architectural charm. Urban planners design transit squares and public spaces around stations to create welcoming entry points for passengers. These spaces often feature landscaping, artwork, and seating, enhancing the station's aesthetic appeal. Efficient transportation networks are crucial for railway stations' successful integration. Urban planners work to ensure seamless connections between railway stations and other modes of transportations, such as buses, trams, subways, and bike-sharing systems. Well-designed interchanges make it easy for passengers to transfer between different modes of transit. Urban planning often involves infrastructure upgrades, such as the construction of new rail lines, platforms, and terminal expansions to accommodate growing passenger numbers. Sustainability is a core consideration in modern urban planning. Urban planners incorporate green design principles around railway stations, including energy-efficient buildings, sustainable landscaping, and rainwater harvesting system. Sustainable urban planning encourages the use of public transportation by making it convenient and eco-friendly. Designing urban spaces to be pedestrian and bike-friendly encourages alternative modes of transportation, reducing reliance on cars and promoting sustainable commuting. Now, we will examine some notable examples as case studies. St. Pancras International London is a historic railway station in London that has become an icon for dynamic urban development. As a busy transport hub, it connects London to Europe via the Eurostar service. Notably, the station's remarkable transformation emphasizes sustainability and green architecture, with its solar paneled roof reducing environmental impact. The sustainable approach is spreading to the surrounding area of King Cross, stimulating urban development and attracting business. The synergy of preserved architectural heritage and contemporary principles of sustainable design shows how historic landmarks can revitalize urban areas, serving as a vital model for a greener, more connected, and economically vibrant urban future. Grand Central Terminal, New York City, serves as a prime example of a railway station that seamlessly connects urban areas while contributing to green development. Its central location in Manhattan fosters connectivity within the city, offering subway connections and easy access to iconic landmarks. Green development initiatives include energy-efficient lighting, green spaces, and a commitment to historical preservation. The station's grandeur and functionality makes it a symbol of sustainable urban transportation in New York. Zurich Hauptbahnhof in Switzerland is renewed for its efficiency and sustainability. The station's green initiatives encompasses energy-efficient systems, extensive waste recycling, and water conservation measures. The station is a key hub in Zurich, comprehensive public transportation network, promoting eco-friendly commuting. I must say my favorite one, Gare du Nord, Paris in France. The historic railway station in Paris is a typical example of urban development, sustainability, and green architecture. Since its establishment in 1846, the station's central location has made it a vital hub for commuters and passengers, connecting the city to Europe. Over the years, renovations and expansions have not only boosted transport capacity, but also catalyzed urban development in the surrounding area, fostering a dynamic commercial ecosystem. In addition, Gare du Nord embraces sustainability with green roof initiatives, energy efficiency improvements, and sustainable transport options, cementing its role as a model of green urban connectivity. Shinagawa Station in Tokyo, Japan, exemplifies the integration of railway infrastructure with green development. The station features extensive green spaces, including a rooftop garden and elevated parks. These green areas provide a respite from the bustling city and contribute to improved air quality. While the integration of railway stations into modern cities has brought numerous benefits, several challenges persist. Many major railway stations face congestion and overcrowding due to increased passenger numbers. Addressing this challenge requires innovative solutions to enhance capacity while ensuring safety and comfort. Some railway stations have aging infrastructure that demands extensive maintenance and renovation. Balancing preservation of historical elements with modernization is a complex task. Railway stations must address environmental concerns, including reducing carbon emissions and adopting sustainable practices. This involves promoting electric trains and improving energy efficiency. Ensuring accessibility for all passengers, including those with disabilities or reduced mobility, remains a critical challenge. Stations must meet accessibility standards and provide suitable facilities and services. Maintaining a high level of security in railway stations is crucial, especially in the face of evolving security threats. In responding to these challenges, railway stations are embracing innovative trends and technologies to shape their future. Railway stations are becoming smarter with the integration of technology. This includes real-time passengers information system, smart ticketing, and digital wayfinding to enhance the overall passenger's experience. Sustainability is a central theme in future railway station design. Stations are increasingly designed to be environmental friendly with features such as a solar panel, energy-efficient lighting, rainwater harvesting systems. Additionally, many stations are transitioning to electric trains to reduce carbon emissions. Railway stations are evolving into true transportation hubs by integrating various models of transit, including buses, trams, subways, and bike-sharing systems. This promotes seamless connectivity and encourages the use of public transportation. The adaptive reuse of historic railway stations is a growing trend. Old stations are being repurposed into cultural centers, shopping malls, hotels, and community spaces while preserving their architectural heritage. And railway stations are adopting digital technologies for ticketing, passenger information and security. Mobile applications and contactless payments systems are making it easier for passengers to plan and pay for their journeys. As a conclusion, I can say that European railway stations are architectural marvels that transcend their role as transportation hubs. They are both dividers and connectors of urban areas, contributing to the complex fabric of modern cities. Through their integration into urban landscapes and adoption of green development practices, railway stations are fostering connectivity and sustainability. As we look forward to the future, railway stations will continue to evolve, adapting to the changing landscape of transportation and urbanization. They will remain vital connectors of cultures, economies, and communities, bridging the past and the future with architectural splendor, cultural significance, and an unwavering commitment to facilitating the movement of people and ideas. In summary, railway stations exemplify the dynamic interplay between infrastructure and culture, history and modernity, and tradition and innovation. They are not just places where journeys begin and end. They are the very crossroads of connectivity that define the spirit of modern cities and their commitment to a sustainable and interconnected future. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ivana. So we can go over to the next presentation of Pavel, please. Pavel, are you ready to start?
Thank you very much to Ivana. I think it was a wonderful debut of this conversation with a very wide look at how railway stations act as stimulators of urban life in the contemporary city. My name is Pavel Yanchev, and I'm an urban designer and an architect, and I work between Sofia, Bulgaria, and Brussels in Belgium. And I'm part of a collective which is called Gradoscope. And we, together with the Bulgarian railway company NKJI, we have developed a project together with other institutions We started a collaboration that is somehow a process that probably is an exemplary. The future will show if it's an exemplary of what the images which Ivana showed in her previous presentation. They are not something that comes into life instantly, but there is a very, let's say, long a process of dialogue and exchange between different institutions and between different partners and between different stakeholders in the city in order for this for the new railway station of the future to meet the future and the contemporary standards. Meaning that we and here I show some mapping that we've done in the railway history of Sofia, Bulgaria. And then we see that it's a picture that we've seen a lot of European or Western cities where railway have played an important role in the history of the city. At some point, let's say the railways were that kind of monofunctional networks, which were sometimes outside of the city, of the urban structure. People just went there in order to use it. But now, when a lot of cities have grew, these railway infrastructures have become a vital and integral part of the urban tissue. This is the example of Sofia, but I'm sure you have many hundreds of others examples in your mind where the railway lines and the railway stations have become once were outside of the city and now are inside of the city. And then I will show first some projects which come into mind when we talk about the integration of a station. And then I will go a bit further into this project we started to develop together with the Bulgarian railway company. Then this is, for example, the idea of Zurich Hauptbahnhof, which was already shown by Ivana, but this was a master plan project done some years ago, which shows exactly this idea of how a railway station has to be connected and has to be integrated in the urban tissue. How it is not something that should connect. Now it is there to connect long distances, but it should connect as well short distances, the distances in the city where we walk, where we live in our city. And then the idea that a city should work through our railways, and in each railway infrastructure, let's say, there is things happening, and we should kind of research what are these things happening, how people use the spaces around the city, what are these spaces meant to be, and how the railway station can take part into the city life through what people need and through what people use. And as well, this idea of connecting landscapes, because the railway infrastructure has always been part of the landscape. Somehow railway lines and railway stations have always followed very tightly the topography of the city. And for example, in some cities, the rivers, exactly because the railway passage, it needs some flatter surfaces. And then we should continue to think railway stations and railway lines as part of a landscape and try to connect these natural elements which are there to the railway to the railway objects. And this is in the idea of this idea of sustainability and integration with landscape. And then on a smaller scale, this is still the Zurich Hauptbahnhof. We need to see the railway station as an integral part of the public space. The flow of people that from the city enters directly into the station without any barriers, without thinking and without feeling the difference that they enter an infrastructural object, better feel that the railway station spreads out into the public space somehow. And then there is another idea of this is a project done recently, and it's still ongoing between the SNCB, the Belgian Railways, about the Gare du Nord in Brussels, where collectives which work and live around the Gare du Nord start to occupy the spaces which the railway museum that has been beforehand in the Gare du Nord has moved in another larger place. So these spaces, they need to be occupied somehow. So what they do, what these collectives do, they try to see how people which are using every day the Gare du Nord, where they go, what do they need, how they can use a bit more these empty spaces of the railway station. So they make a project about how to do this temporary occupation of the railway, how to stimulate using it as a cultural hub or as a temporary event spaces or as an office spaces, without thinking that the railway station will not be used anymore as such. Exactly on the opposite, the railway station is still there. There are just temporary or probably a bit long-term functions that can and that might somehow enliven the empty spaces of the station. And then there is another good example of the SNCF, the French National Railways, which have as well that kind of a department which tries to occupy the already abandoned or empty, temporary empty spaces of the railway with some other type of activities. Here we see urban agriculture, but as well events, and as well something that we can see as a complementary to the function of the urban railways. Then another example from Trenitalia about railway terrain which is not in use in Milano, where like this stimulation of urban greenery can work in the mitigation of climate change, in the idea of how to make better, cleaner air, how to mitigate the urban heat island, how to find this necessary urban green which the dense contemporary cities need so much, without thinking that this will stay like this forever. If the railway needs, it might come back and take these terrains and use it for other functions as well. And then another such project in Zurich, which is done by the SBB and the urbanists of Caisse Christians at Denkstadt, which try to repurpose workshops, railway workshops of the SBB, again in productive, in some other productive urban functions. We don't think about this as a typical real estate venture where we demolish everything and we build new buildings and we take out the land of the railways. No, on the contrary, we think about it as the production stays in this already thought as productive spaces, and we think about it as complementary to the railways. And then we come to this project which we started to work 3 years ago with the Bulgarian National Railways and KGI, where we started a small and slow process of rethinking what Stočna Gara, which is the freight station in Sofia, and the railway yard of Podujene Razpredelitelna might be used for in the future, and how they can play a role in the urban tissue of contemporary Sofia. The dialogue somehow came up through the Sofia municipality, and then we tried to engage into a productive dialogue between the institutions, but as well between citizens, experts, businesses, and academia. And then we were kind of helped by the new European Bauhaus, which is this program of the European Commission, which exactly tries to support such initiatives of public participation in finding new urban projects. So here you see on the map where the freight stations, Stočna Gara and the Podujene Raspределителна railway yard, which is not used, are located. This, what you see, is the line between Belgrade and Istanbul, the old Orient Express, which passes through the Sofia city center, and which is still one of the most used railways in the country. And on the south, we see the city center of Sofia. So you see the proximity and the importance of these railway lines for the urban transportation and interstate and national transportation of Bulgaria. But then what we see and what we have found as analyzing these territories is that somehow the railways are a divider between the north and the south, and that the northern neighborhoods are effectively not being visited at all, and only the people who live there go there, and how these terrains can challenge this urban division. So we started a sustainable, let's say, a sustainable process of which was thinking about how these terrains can be sustainably transformed without searching for other big or iconic projects. No, on the contrary, we didn't want to displace the railway function. We just wanted to complement it with some minor, let's say, activities that can enliven these territories and that can help these territories to be used in a sustainable way and to wait for their future transformation by their owners, the railway company. So we started somehow a process of first analyzing the territories, then giving it to the students in the University of Architecture and Civil Engineering. So on the semester of 2022, they have done an extensive workshops and works on what these territories might look in the future. Then we did events, and then giving all this information to the railway company and to the Sofia municipality, and then continuing later on with expert discussions, which already have taken all this information that we gathered until now, and started to come up with more concrete ideas what can happen. Meanwhile, we invited all the people from the neighborhood to visit one of the territory, which is the freight station, which is closer to the city center, and then they were discovering these territories, and for them it was as well a challenge. And then you see as well this idea of the landscape. There are the rivers who pass through this railways. So the idea how the landscape and the railway can be seen as something that works together, actually. And then here I will go a bit into detail on what exactly we were thinking and what we did in these expert discussions, which for us it was important to put on the same table the different experts, to talk about expertise, to not talk about big and not feasible projects, but talk about real things. And then we talked about three topics which I think are important and we think are important for the contemporary railway station. The idea of transport and public space coming together, the idea of ecology and an integrated approach between sustainability and what exactly it means, because sometimes people can go into this greenwashing idea without just talking about green and not exactly doing concrete stuff. And then the idea of new economies, how a new railway station can be a sustainable economic model and not go into the burden of financial instability. And then on the other side, this idea of involving citizens and businesses and artists to discover these territories and to participate with workshops. And of course, the expert discussions were closed, and then the citizen involvement was more open processes. And then what comes up, I will just slowly go through some of the ideas that come up from these expert discussions. The idea that the square space in front of a railway station is always important, and it's always something that gathers people. The creation of cultural infrastructure that can relate to the railway transport. The idea of a railway station park, which is can transform the territories which are not used but are extensively green. The idea of crossing railway lines, the idea of transport analysis, which have all the time has to like go along with each project. The idea of a sustainable urban rail, which is on the scale of the city. Then the idea of this linear park. Again, the idea of how to integrate the river and the railway function. The ideas of how to integrate urban agriculture in the spaces which are not used. The idea how to invite, for example, the schools around to discover these areas and to make the old railways and the new railways, something as a living classroom, a green classroom where kids can learn about railway and about ecology in the same time. And then this idea of the new economies. We have invited as well funding institutions, which are as well interested in such projects. They were as well telling their point of view of how such a project can be sustainable. The idea of a national railway museum, which is always there. Bulgaria has one, but institution which is not let's say the museum, the old conservative institution of the art museum which we know. And then the idea of how to drive economies which would be interested in such territories without displacing one more time the railway function. And then here some pictures of what had happened during these moments of people discovering the railway station, the abandoned railway stations, and how they were as well felt empowered to give their ideas. Of course, some of their ideas are not directly applicable, but as well the fact that 600 citizens were there and wanted to discover these territories were a kind of important landmark that people are interested in what happens in the railway terrains and are able to use them in the future. And then I will just pass very fast through the pilot projects that came out of these expert discussions. The first is, well, what you see is images from the students that worked on them. So they're speculative images, but they kind of remind exactly this idea how public space and how urban greenery can be and can go together with this productive and with this transportation function together, and they can coexist in the contemporary city. The idea of the park, which is close to the urban neighborhoods and that can serve them, but as well can be a place of urban transportation. Some pictures what you see from our terrains and from projects which have been done elsewhere. I will not stop at why a park is important for the city. This, I think, you know already very well. But then this idea of public space, how to liberate and how to make a building important, an old building which is a heritage, from the railway function, but as well an architectural heritage. And the idea how it can be used as a public space, as a cultural hub, as a community center, and this idea of productive, let's say, functions that can be used and that can be held into such big spaces, which is the freight station and one of its contemporary building, which right now has as well people which and companies which sell building materials, but how these functions can be kept there, but as well through renovating and making this building even in a better condition, how other functions which are connected to the productive functions can be held there. And there are some more examples of this done for example, in Brussels, in Paris. And then with this photo of the freight station in Sofia, I thank you for your attention.
Okay, Pavel, thank you very much. It was also interesting, and I think we will have the discussion a little bit later. So we should start now with the third and last presentation for today. Ivo, are you ready?
Hello.
Okay, thank you.
I want to share my...
It's your turn.
Okay. Do you see?
Yes, we see.
Okay. Hello. My name is Ivo Yanakiev. I am the Deputy Chairman of the Board of the National Guild Society Railway Track Engineers in Bulgaria. Today, I will introduce you to one of the remarkable railway stations in Europe. Let's start. Britain's long railway history. The first railway in the world to operate steam-powered freight and passenger services was the Stockton and Darlington Railway in England. In 1821, George Stephenson, who by then had built several steam locomotives to work to the Killington mine, became aware that Edward Peace's intentions to build a 5.5-mile, approximately 8 kilometers line between Stockton and the coast of Darlington to exploit a rich deposit of coal. Peace had intended to use horsepower, to which Stephenson stated that a steam locomotive could pull 9 times as much load as horsepower could put in iron rails. Impressed, Peace agreed to let Stephenson realize his idea. On 27 September 1825, Locomotion 1 hauled the first train in the Stockton and Darlington Railway, driven by George Stephenson. The train consists of the locomotion, 11 wagons of coal and carriage experiment, and a further 20 wagons of passengers, guests, and workers. The train, which had an estimated weight of 80 tons and length of 400 feet, approximately 120 meters, reached a maximum speed of 12 miles per hour and took 2 hours to complete the first 14 kilometers of the journey to Darlington, but was slowed by derailed wagon and blocked fuel pump valve. In 1825, George Stephenson also built the first public interurban railway in the world, who for the use the locomotives between Liverpool and Manchester, opened in 1830. By 1840, the British Industrial Revolution has been going strong for more than 80 years, and the need to move people and goods have never been higher. In 1846, Great Britain accepted the Railway Regulation Act, which allowed to creation a new private railways companies to propose roads cover an impressive 905,000 miles and lead the creation of the Britain network. Start the Midland Railway. The Midland Railways has a British railway company from 1832 to 1922, situated between Leicester and Nottinghamshire, where it served to needs to local coal owners. The Midland Railway began on 10 May 1844 when merged the Midland Country Railway, North Midland Railway at Birmingham and Derby Junction Railway. 2 years later, it was joined by the Birmingham and Gloucester Railway. During the First World War, the railways were under state control, which lasted until 1921, when full nationalization was considered, but the concept was rejected. Under the Railways Act of 1821, after grouping in 1922, 4 major railways companies, it was substantially nationalized after the Second World War under the Transport Act in 1947. This act provided for the nationalization of the network as part of the policy of nationalization public services. British Railways took over the assets of the Big Four from 1st January 1948. British Railways operated by major services rail transport in the UK from 1848 until 1997, when British Railways was privatized in stages between 1994 and 1997. Privatization saw responsibility to infrastructure, track, signaling, and stations transferred by railway, later placed under public control on the Network Rail. After the privatization of British Rail, 13 train companies operate in Great Britain. In the following years, there were many companies for the renationalization of rail services in UK. Various stakeholders expressed their view of the privatization of British Rail. In 2022, Railway Network Railway was established to take over the duties of the closed railway track. The history of the New Street Station. Today's New Street Railway Station was undergone significant changes in his history. Birmingham's original passenger station was located on the Curzon Street, opened as a part of the first London-Birmingham Intercity Railway in 1838. The growing demands of the railway services in the 19th century led to development of the stations, which was the largest in the country in this time. The rapid development of industry and commerce turned Birmingham into an important center, and the station became incomfortably located on the periphery of the growing city. Following amalgamation of the London and Birmingham and Grand Junction railways into the London North Western Railways in 1846, it was decided to build a new, more conveniently located station. It became known as Birmingham New Street. New Street Station was built in the center of the Birmingham by the London and Northwestern Railways between 1846 and 1854 on the site of the several streets in the marshy area known as the Forgery. On the site of the several years railway termini on the outskirts of the center, most notably Curzon Street, which opened in 1838 and was no longer suitable for the level of traffic. When completed, New Street had the largest single-span arched iron and glass roof in the world, spanning a width more than 211 feet and beginning to 840 feet long, covering 4 through platforms and 4 locomotive turners. Due to the large size of the station, its location of the city center, a footbridge was built to provide public access from the one side of Birmingham to the other. New Street was opened to passengers in 1851, officially opened in the 1st June 1854. By the end of the 19th century, the need of the extension of the New Street emerged. It was decided that the two companies which share the station would finance the extension. Extension built together the wall of the Great Queen Street, which became a carriage through the center of the station, and the number of platforms increased to 15. The extension almost doubled by size of the original reception building of the New Street, became one of the largest stations in Britain, spread over 12 acres, when it opened in February 8, 1885. In early 1885, the number of daily passengers and customers of the station was surveyed. On Thursdays, the number was 22,000, and the Saturdays 25,000. Traffic increased steadily, and by the 1990s, New Street averaged 4 trains per hour, departing and arriving, rising to 53 trains at the peak times. Early 20th century photographs taken from the west showing the station and the Midland station between Queen Drive and original station. Sorry. The West Coast Main Line upgrade. In the Second World War, New Street suffered significant damage from bombing, leading to the replacement of the roof and the reconstruction of the public footbridge. However, in the 1950s, the decision was made to modernize West Bank Main Line, and this included New Street Station. The 19th century station was demolished in 1964. Reconstruction included the construction of the second pedestrian level above the platform, supported by 200 columns. New station had sold its air rights, leading to the construction of the Palisade Shopping Center, well known as the Birmingham Shopping Center, above the station between 1968 and 1970. The new station was designed with 12 through platforms and inner ring road connected to the station of pedestrian level above the passenger platforms. The upgrade was also included Stefanovska Tower and 20-stone office and residential block. The new station opened in 1967 to coincide with the electrification of the new line between Birmingham and Houston. Telecommunication and signaling have also been upgraded with the opening of a new dispatching building, which centralized a control of train movement in the area. Despite the efforts of financing resources invested, the station building from the 1960s was widely criticized after modernization because it is ugly concrete facades. The station capability was designed for 650 trains and 600 passengers for daily, but was insufficient in 28 when the volume was 1,350 trains and over 112,000 passengers per day, respectively. Over 140,000 passengers use New Street every day, more than double of number it was designed to handle, and today it is busiest station outside of London. A visibility study into the development of the station was approved in January 2005. Design was shown in the public in the February 2006 and the new Birmingham New Street station in a project known as Gateway Plus. The application plans for the development and the approved in August 2006 and included a new concourse 3.5 times larger than 1960 concourse with a domed atrium at the center of the letting natural light, refurbishing platforms, reaches, and the new escalators and lifts, a new station facade, and the new entrance. Works in the station began in 26 April 2010. Alongside the redevelopment of the station, the shopping center above the station was upgraded and opened in Grand Central, along with the new John Lewis department store. The £550 million extension was completed in 1915 and included a new passenger approach, exterior facades, and entrance to Stefanovska Street. The new approach is 3 times larger and enclosed by the giant atrium, allowing natural light through the station. Development improves links through the city center and the catalyst economic growth of the local area. Passenger statistics from the Office of Rail and Roads are: in 2080-2090 was the 47 million passengers with transfer of 7 million passengers. And 2021, 2022 passenger was respectively 22 millions and 2.45 transfer passengers. New Street station is operated by Network Rail, and is the 5th busiest railway station in the UK and the busiest outside London, with 46 million passengers served between April 2019 and March 2020. It also is busiest station to transfer passengers outside of the London, which just over 7 million passengers changing trains on the station annually. Around 80% of trains of Birmingham pass through New Street. Birmingham's other major central stations are Birmingham's Moor Street and Birmingham Snow Hill. Outside the city is Birmingham International, which serves Birmingham Airport and National Exhibition Centre. New Street is the hub of the West Midland Railway network, as well as beginning and a major national hub. The station is one of the 20 operated and managed by Network Rail. All trains arriving and departing must use one of several tunnels around the station. Initially, Grand Central was planned to act as terminus of the city center extension. However, it was later decided that further extension will take place toward Centenary Square and later at Edgbaston. This extension opened in May of 2022. Thank you for attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Ivo, for your presentation. So we have had 3 wonderful, nice, interesting presentations. We started in the past, in the modern times, and at the end we reached a little bit in the past and then come back to the modern times. I have some questions to the audience and to the presenters, and maybe other people from the audience are also having questions. I will start with a question over the time. So do you think, you all 3 presenters, do you think that there is a fundamental difference between the implementation of stations into urban landscape in the past and at the present and in the future? For example, I remember when I was young, many stations were built with these park and ride facilities and kiss and ride. This was state of the art of the 70s and modern in the 70s. So do you think we need such stuff in the future? Or will it change? Will we have totally different needs in the future and totally different forms of implementation? So this is a question to you all 3. Maybe, Pavel, you will answer maybe?
Yes, I can start if nobody else wants. So your question is if that kind of developments as park and ride, as like intermodality, will continue in the future, no?
Yeah.
Well, I think the most important, one of the most important roles of the urban railway in the contemporary city is to try to substitute the car, no, the extensive use of car, because unfortunately, after the years of the 60s, we have seen, at least in some parts of Europe, extensive, let's say, extensive investments in railway infrastructure, meaning urban highways that have demolished part of our cities, which we can see this more in the US than in Europe, but still it is the case. And then as well the decline of the role of the railway in the city. So we now turn to the urban railway as a point that we need in the situations where our cities are extremely congested, where like there are cars everywhere, and that the number of cars in the cities have not been able to stop rising. So we need that these railways, which have once been thought as a long distance connections, to start now as well work for the region airware, and for the region railways. In this sense, the park and ride is very much necessary in the peripheral railway stations. I think from somehow my experience in this, with the idea that people come, they leave their car in the outside periphery of the city, and they in some cities you need at least a couple of minutes to reach the urban center and your working place. And then these outside peripheral stations, they can as well work as well commercial centers where you come from work with the train, you take your car, you do your shopping, and then you go home if you live outside of the city. So this would be, for me, kind of the perfect idea.
Mm. Yeah, okay. Thank you for your answer. Ivana, you will also say something to that.
Sorry if
yes.
I just may to interrupt quickly. Could you please open your cameras, all the speakers? Thank you. Pavel and Ivo, also that you open your cameras and we can see you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Charlotte.
Yes, Olaf, I agree with Pavel, because most important thing in the future is to the railway stations and the trains to be used more than the cars and then the other transport individually, because it's more sustainable when you use it only the train, and not only to come to the train station with your car. Maybe you will come with some public transport, maybe you will come with a bike or something. We should all think about the future of the ecosystem of our planet. And the trains are the maybe one of the most important chain part of the chain, by my point of view. Yes.
Yeah. So for example, I have a car, but I don't use it. So it runs between 3,000 and 5,000 kilometers a year. Normally, when I go to another place, for example, I go with a bicycle to the train station, and then I use the suburban train to go to the ice train and go on long distance. I do it also when I go from here, I live close to Cologne, and last time I was in Danzig, for example, I went in train because it's 11 hours in train with one change in Berlin. And in plane, with aircraft, I need also 8 hours from door to door. So for me, it's more efficient. And I use the bicycle, of course, to go to the railway station. But normal people don't use it during rain, during windy times, and so on. So how can they go to the railway stations? Maybe in the future, sometimes, in some cases, with ATO cars or with ATO buses, these automatic driven units. Sometimes there is no tramway or no bus system, so then it could be a good solution. But I have many technical ideas how it can be solved, but my question is, how do city planners and railway station planners think about these possibilities? What are their doings for the future, and what is the idea of them for the future?
I can say, for example, it's not only the rain and the concept of it's raining, I'm not driving a bicycle. It's the idea and the mentality of the people that we should put it in their mind that they should use the public transport for everything. For example, if I do not have a railway station near my place where I live, but I should use the public transport to come to the railway station. Not only bicycle, maybe it's not maybe the weather is not convenient for the bicycle. Here in the Balkans, for example, people do not ride the bicycle when it's winter. Like not in Norway, it's not an example in Norway, for example, but we should put it on the people's mind. So maybe, I don't know, marketing, maybe to make the public transport more convenient for the people to use it. For example, I am living and working in a relationship in a relation Macedonia, Bulgaria, Skopje, Sofia, where I am driving each week 250 kilometers by myself with my own car. Why? Because I don't have a good transport to Sofia. I don't have a railway station, a railway track between Skopje to Sofia. And it's nonsense living in the Balkans, where two capital cities of two states not to be connected with railway tracks.
Mm-hmm. But with regard to the implementation of railway stations, so you still need old-fashioned facilities like parking lot for your car.
Yes.
And other people are needing the substation for the metro or the level side station in front of the railway station from the tramway. So my question was more in the direction regarding the implementation of the railway station. What are the ideas for the future? Will you reduce these parking lots, for example, and put more focus to other modes of transport?
Yes, maybe parking slots to be reduced and to be put somewhere as a buffer parkings outside the cities, maybe where you are going to leave your car and take the public transport to whenever you need. But the most important thing is the public transport must be good organized. If in one city you don't have a good public transport, then you're going to need cars, you're going to need everything. So first of all, it's to organize the public transport to come to the railway station and then to go everywhere you want.
Yeah. I have so many other questions, but I see also from the audience some questions. There is one question, the hand up from Simon. Simon, have you any special question? Now the hand is gone.
On my behalf, it's not rather a question. I would like, first of all, to congratulate all the speakers before for the remarkable presentations and for the interesting topics they raised. I would like to join this talk today with a little bit of emotional and philosophic approach about the stations. And I would say that a station is the place where a passenger meets the train. But in the real life, it is much more than that. So actually, a station is a place of change where a journey may start or end, but also a place where one can change a train, a mode, or just change his mind. And this is because at such a place, you always meet people, miss people, part with people, or wait for people. That is why station design shall be attractive to improve people's user experience in every stage of a passenger journey. Users, however, may be just people who are changing their mind. So the first step of change is the attractiveness of the architectural design. And only then comes the design of services leading you through to your journey or to the people that would change your mind. So our whole experience in public transport is defined by the experience we get in the station. Movement from the threshold to the platform across a continuous chain of zones of change should be as safe and seamless as possible. And putting more attention in stations design is really very important to attract more people. Thanks to modern mobility technologies, improvements can be made both in new build projects and at existing stations so that they become more welcoming and inclusive for all.
Mm.
Today, thanks to Ivo, Birmingham New Street station is in the focus from both historical and modern viewpoint. But Birmingham is also the location of other new projects that attract the engineers' attention and raise public expectations as well. Construction has already begun on the landmark Birmingham Curzon Street station, which is intended to be the new rail hub at the northern terminus of the high-speed 2 line. This will be noted as a remarkable event, highlighting the first brand new intercity terminus station built in Britain since the 19th century. The connectivity to be created by Birmingham Curzon Street and the public realm will create far-reaching social and economic opportunities across Birmingham and Midland area. With reference to Birmingham, we shall also mention the new high-speed 2 interchange station in Solihull, which has become the first in the world railway station to achieve the outstanding certification according to the Building Research Establishment Environmental Assessment Method. BREEAM is a measure of sustainability for new and refurbished buildings, putting it at the top 1% of the buildings in the UK for eco-friendly credentials. Standards of BREEAM may also be applied to such an innovative platform screen door system as RSD. RSD speaks for rope screen door. These are large span rope type panels with vertical opening, allowing to maintain important building features of future climate change resilience as maximizing natural daylight and ventilation, and incorporating energy efficient technologies such as air source, heat pumps, and LED lighting. I believe that in the next 10-15 years, high-speed technology is likely to have a significant impact on the rail industry's development as an integrated system. Infrastructure, train sets, telecommunications, signaling, operation safety, and security equipment. I expect to see significant expansion across the European continent of an interoperable rail network connecting major cities. Many stations of the future, designed today, will become lively hubs in the urban environment where accessibility, safety, and security will complement customer assistance. In that aspect, Birmingham has always been a story of how to design the station of the future, and an example of one of the best practices around the world, even at some moments with its negative experience record. Thank you for your attention, and I started with some philosophic, emotional moment, and I want to conclude as well.
Yeah, thank you for the fourth presentation today.
Yeah.
But maybe you can introduce yourself with 2 words.
I am also member of the Bulgarian National Guild Society of Railway Track Engineers as Ivo Yanakiev, and now I'm a retired railway engineer.
Okay, thank you for your words on your participation.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have some other questions? If not, I have also read 2 questions in the chat. One is, the idea is great, but do you anticipate to arrange funding of such projects? It's a good question. Who will answer to it?
Well, I think that the funding of such projects should be mainly government or municipality thing. It cannot be individual or some investment projects, because these kind of projects are for public health and for the public wealth, my point of view. So maybe we must speak loudly with the governments and with the municipalities. I don't know, Pavel, Ivo? Maybe I'm wrong.
I agree.
Yes, I would agree as well, absolutely. The problem of defunding railways, it's one of the biggest problems, no? Defunding railways, especially we see this after the falling of the Berlin Wall in the east, but then as well the idea of privatizing in the West is the situation where either we defunding the railways means taking it the important role that it has in society, which is the idea of connecting people. I like very much what Simeon said, that on the platform you meet people, and as well it's the case that on the railway station sometimes you end up you're there for the first time. You have to discover the world through the railway station. So if you don't have a well-funded railways, this idea of connecting people throughout countries and throughout continents, it is not working. And then falling into private hands, it means use it mostly for profit and becoming less accessible to people, less accessible to everyday people, which is for me not the sustainable way to look at the railways as a structural element of today's city.
Yeah. Okay. I have a last question to the architecture in general. So this is not only belonging to railway station, it belongs also to other big buildings in cities. From my point of view, in the past, old buildings have been very filigree and nice with ornaments and so on. So nice design. And since the time post-war, all the buildings are made of glass and concrete, flat glass, flat concrete, and it looks modern. But it's, from my point of view, it's not so nice as the architecture in the past. When we see, for example, these new stations, which we saw on the presentations, and we see other modern airports or railway stations, it looks nice, but it looks not very nice from my point of view. What is your opinion? What do you think? What will be the development for the future? Will it change to other type of construction, or will it be in the same form as at the moment, at present.
Can I reflect a bit?
Yes, of course, please.
Well, your question is very good in the sense that it's not only the problem of the railway station. No, when we have the modern design from the 60s and 70s on, everything is very cold. No, the modern design is by far colder than what we had before. And then, of course, now we will not come back to this. Let's say building techniques we had back in the 30s or in the 40s or back in the 19th century. But what we can do, I would say, is not to continue with the glass and with the cold design, which for me it will be very bad. No, I come back to this idea of the passenger needs the train. No, because when you come to a railway station, you are on a place that you don't know. So the idea to feel on a place which is warm and which invites you to discover the city, or to invite you to discover, you have to feel well. You have to feel like not like at home, but like you have to feel in a welcoming way. So in this idea, the first thing that we can do is first keep the old buildings. No, keep the old buildings. Like the example of Birmingham, where we demolish in the 60s the old building, and then we do something completely new, and then we again demolish everything. And so this is the first thing that we can do. And then seeing all the palimpsest of designs which have been there through ages will make us feel in a very different way. Will make us feel not alienated to this experience of the railway. This is the first thing, and then we can think about it through your experience as the experience of the passenger. This is very important. No, how he feels entering into the railway station, how he feels discovering something. And because people, when they discover something, they're always in a very fragile moment in their psychological experience. No, so they have to feel better. We have to overcome this user experience, and then we have to make it feel much better than this alienating modern design which we know.
Yeah, I agree. You also agree, Ivo? You have to say something to that?
Yes, I agree. But another answer in your question is railway station Calatravas in Lisboa, Portugal. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's another answer in the future of the railway stations.
Yeah, okay. I saw it, I know it, and my personal opinion is it's nice to see it on the picture and nice to see it from some meters away. But if you use the station, I prefer the traditional way. It's my personal opinion.
The architecture is changed. The world is changing, and the architecture is changing.
Yes, of course.
Maybe we should not ruin or demolish the old one, but we should adaptively reuse it and make it a new one. We cannot build something old, unfortunately. Yeah. The technologies are changing, the world is changing, and the architecture and the taste of the human being is changing. So I think that we are going to continue to build new buildings, maybe not only a railway station, you know, but when we are going to build something new, we as an architects would like to incorporate new technologies, new structures, and everything. But when renovating old buildings, we should keep the old spirit.
I think you are right, and I think many of you will agree to it. So these are nice finalizing words. We are on time and we finished now, but I will give the possibility to the audience if there is one or two last questions from your side. Please give a sign? Hands up. Oh yeah, there's one hand up. I cannot see who it is. Can you open your microphone and speak? It went down. Michael, you are the one who has had his hands up? No. Okay. So I will say thank you to the presenters, to all participants. Hope to see you all again in the next railway talk. Mostly we have very technical railway talks regarding special things on the railway technique. This was a little bit different today, but I think it was very interesting and people enjoyed it, and hope to have such types of discussions and presentations sometimes again. Thank you very much to everybody, and hope to see you soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See you
Bye.
soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye.